Hey everybody, it's John Taylor with Best CCW Training. I wanted to give you a straightforward video eliminating all the laws and all the BS that you do not need to know when it comes down to Senate Bill 2, known as SB2. Let's talk about sensitive areas. You may have heard about the 26 locations known as sensitive areas, which eliminated CCW pretty much entirely throughout the state of California. As of today, January 15th, 2024, those sensitive areas are gone. The gun now must be registered in your name if it's going to be on your concealed weapons permit. You can no longer have the spouse's gun on your permit or any other family member's gun on your permit. So, if you have a gun which is community property, which it is, and it's on you and your spouse's permit, it can now only be on one of those permits. How do you fix that? You need to go buy another gun. Or, if you have multiple guns and one of those is a spouse's gun, the quickest way to fix that is to go to your gun store, do your firearms transfer, let it sit in gun jail for the 10 to 11 days, and then it comes out registered in the new party's name. Unfortunately, now you can only have 2 guns in any kind of CCW fashion, whether that be on your body or including an off-carry or inside of your vehicle. No more than 2 guns in your possession in any kind of CCW fashion. However, you can still have 3 guns on your permit for most counties. The 1-hour mental health component is actually not a bad thing. It can be taught by your instructor if they wish to do so. It's going to include topics such as stress, post-traumatic stress, anxiety, stress after a self-defense shooting, and signs of mental health illnesses, including drug and/or alcohol use. CCW required training hours. What we're looking at now is a mandatory 16-hour initial training class and an 8-hour renewal class. That used to be different depending on the county. Counties no longer have the discretion to adjust those hours. This is going to include your 1-hour mental health component. Additionally, you can expect fees to go up because you're going to be spending more time inside of the classroom. The written test component's actually pretty vague. There is no set parameters of what the test should consist of or even how many questions there are. Each instructor will design their own test. They'll make up the questions, and there's also no parameters for how many questions there will be on the test. There might be some instructors out there that actually use some sort of variation, such as like the firearm safety certificate test. Easy enough, right? So after the Bruin decision, the state of California was scrambling on how to stop issuing concealed weapons permits. The state does not like guns. The state does not like NRA. Prior to SB2, most instructors were required to have NRA credentials. This is going to eliminate likely about 70% of instructors from the CCW training field. Now the state is requiring one of 3 things to become a CCW instructor. Number 1, BSIS firearms training. BSIS, a Bureau of Security Investigative Services firearms trainer, which is security. Number 2, post-credentialed. Post is Peace Officer Standard and Training, which is law enforcement firearms instructor. Or state accredited instruction school, which simply does not exist. The law does require that initial concealed weapons permit applicants have 3 character references. Of those 3 character references, one must be a cohabitant, provided that you live with somebody. If you live with a spouse, that must be one of them. If you live with a roommate, that would be one of them. If you live by yourself, then it would be 3 character references outside of the home. The character references basically shall be stating that you're of good moral character. It's somebody that the sheriff's department could reach out to with either a phone call or an in-person visit. Very similar to a reference for a job. However, the law does state that initial applicants must have the 3 character references, and renewal applicants to the 3 character references could be waived by your issuing authority if they elected to do so. Let's wait and see what happens. Only your issuing authority will know the answer to that, and they will update their CCW web portal known as Permitium throughout the state. You may have heard about the social media check, which the sheriff's departments are allowed to do. Let me clarify that for you. They're not allowed to hop onto your social media with your login credentials. That's against the law. However, they will be, during your background investigation, looking at things that you may have posted, whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, X, Nextdoor, Neighbors. Now might be time to clean up your posts. Here in California, we have 482 municipalities and 58 counties. Those 58 counties, we have 58 county sheriffs and 58 district attorneys. You may have heard some really good law enforcement, including your sheriff and district attorney, come out and say that they're not going to enforce Senate Bill 2, which is great. However, be advised that's for your county. Not every law enforcement officer has to abide by that, known as the spirit of the law. Let's take, as an example, you're in your county and you have a primary state agency or another law enforcement agency pull you over. You're on a traffic stop and you're violating the law. They can certainly charge you for it. And let's take another county as an example. You're down in a liberal county such as San Francisco. Do you think that they are going to honor what your sheriff has said up here in another jurisdiction? Absolutely not. If you violate the law, you can plan on being arrested, and once you're arrested, you lose your concealed weapons permit. Alright guys and gals, please remember, I'm not an attorney. If you seek legal advice, seek professional legal advice. However, that's my interpretation of Senate Bill 2 as it stands in plain and simple English. Remember, come April of 2024, those 26 sensitive areas will be coming back to an 11-member panel of the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. In the interim, Senate Bill 2 does include a provision in the law which states that the state of California can make any emergency law as they wish when it comes down to concealed carry. Keep up to date on my videos. I'll also be publishing some training videos, and at the very end of this, it's very important, remember, cover your ass and cover your assets. I have very important information coming up. Okay, now let's get into what you can expect after a self-defense shooting. You just acted in self-defense of great bodily injury, of death occurring to you or your loved ones. You can expect law enforcement to arrive, multiple law enforcement officers. You can expect to be detained and put in pretty bracelets. You can expect to be thrown in the back of a patrol unit. You can also expect to be relieved of your gun well before this process. Your gun is evidence, that gun is gone. You can expect from there to go to the jail. They're not going to rely on your driver's license even if it was a very clear and justifiable shooting. Your driver's license could be your twin sibling. You're going to go down to the jail. You're going to be processed. You're going to be relieved of your clothing. You're going to be given jail garb. You're going to go through a strip search before that. You're going to have a DNA swab. You will be put in a cell along with possibly somebody that might be a friend or family member or a fellow gang banger of somebody that you just shot. From there, you will eventually go see a judge for an arraignment. If this occurs on a weekend, you're not going to see a judge until at the very least Monday. It could be a Tuesday. So it could be several days that you're spending in jail. Upon that arraignment hearing, if you are charged for something such as murder, the average bail for murder is $1 million. How much are you going to have to spend to get out of jail? 10%. That's $100,000. Do you have $100,000 laying around? It could be more again. So I highly recommend to have a CCW self-defense policy insurance. Me personally, I would not carry a gun without having the best insurance there is. Likewise, I would not drive a vehicle without having the best insurance there is. USCCA, known as Delta Defense, will immediately bond you out up to $100,000. What does it cost you? Not a penny. So from there, you can also expect attorney fees. Each bullet that you fire is attached to a minimum of 2 attorneys. That's the prosecutor. How much money does the prosecutor have to spend against you? Limitless. And then the other attorney is your defense attorney. I would hope that you don't have a public defender in this case. There are many good public defenders, but their caseload is enormous. You're just going to be a number in this case. With USCCA, you get up to unlimited attorney fee coverage. Not reimbursement, this is immediate attorney fee coverage. You can use an attorney that you wish, or they have pre-selected attorneys. If I have a California permit and if I am back east, I'm not going to hire my California attorney to go represent me there. Again, USCCA has unlimited coverage for you on attorney fees. You can also expect a civil lawsuit. Civil lawsuit, they will pay up to a $2 million judgment. Wow, $2 million judgment. Do you have $2 million laying around? If so, let's talk. So again, up to a $2 million judgment. You can also have a spouse on your policy. Your spouse doesn't even have to be a gun owner. I want to reiterate, this is a self-defense policy, not just a CCW policy. I've done my research. This is the best policy there is available. They're not going to reimburse you. They're going to actively cover you when you need it. You could have even been in a situation where you used your gun in self-defense where you're not even lawfully able to carry, such as we've talked about Senate Bill 2. If you're in a restricted area where you cannot lawfully carry, you are covered. That's amazing. So when it comes down to homeowners insurance or umbrella policies, you're not covered when it comes down to CCW outside of your home. So again, self-defense policy will get you covered. Look at your umbrella policy, your homeowner's insurance policy. Down on the bottom of the fine print, you're going to see if you act intentionally, you're not covered. You've just pulled a gun. You've acted intentionally. Again, spouses you can get for 50% off, which is amazing. You have up to 1 year to cancel your membership. So you can have this USCCA policy for 10 months and say, I want all my money back. And you get all your money back. You can pay monthly. You can pay annually. It's very affordable. So again, up to 1 year to get all of your money back. While USCCA is defending you, they are going to cover all aspects. They're going to cover your jury trial. If they need to bring expert witnesses in, they will. It's not about the coverage itself. It's about you being found either not guilty or the case dismissed. Most cases like this, it's going to be the case dismissed. Why? Because you have unlimited attorney coverage. That's the important part. Do you have anything like this that will cover you? I doubt it unless you have USCCA already. USCCA will also cover your incidentals. Say if you need to go to a motel because it's not safe to go to your home, Because the media is going to be talking about you, and people are going to know where you live. It's likely not going to be safe to go to your home. They're going to cover your motel fees. They're going to replace your gun if that's the only gun that you have. They're going to give you the money to buy a new gun. They'll also give you up to a per diem for your meals, which is pretty nice. They'll also pay up to $750 a day in lost or replacement wages. So if you're self-employed, if you make $500 a day and you can prove that, they're going to pay you up to $500 a day. The USCCA does offer 3 different levels of membership. One is a gold, the next is the platinum, and the third is elite. I highly recommend elite just for the training in and of itself. It will also document and log all of your training. The prices are $29, $39, or $49, which is roughly about $200 cheaper per month than my full coverage automobile insurance. If you're interested in the USCCA, look at the link in the description down below.